I'm tired. Coffee. OCD. Wrong heights. Ooh, I like that. What's up, guys? I got a brand new video for you today. Today we're looking at SD cards for the GH5 because of the new firmware update. We've got higher bit rates, and for some reason my UHS2 cards from Lexar don't work. And these cards are rated at 300 megabytes a second read and 260 megabytes a second write. So pretty fast, right? And then I've also got my old UHS1 cards from SanDisk. They're the Extreme Pros. They're 95 megabytes a second read, and I think they're 90 megabytes a second write. So they're pretty fast. I use them on pretty much every camera. I'm shooting with the C200 with them right now. Pretty much every camera I've ever used, these cards are in it. Never had an issue with them except one. It kind of blew apart inside of a camera. Then we have the Lexar 1000 cards. These are UHS2. I don't know how they got that rating because they're actually 150 megabytes a second read, but only 80 megabytes a second write, which puts it actually under this UHS1 card. So a lot of people are saying they're having success writing the 400 megabits per second video to this card. So I got one just to try. But before I got that, I actually ended up going out and buying this card, which, yep, that's right, $450 in Canada. This is the SanDisk Extreme Pro, 128 gig, 300 megabytes a second read, and 280 megabytes a second write speed. So it's pretty much on par with the Lexar 2000 card, but for some reason the Lexar 2000 card dies after 19 seconds shooting on this camera. So I think it comes down to capacity size. I don't know why, but for some reason this 32 gigabyte card will not work. But a lot of people are saying that they're having good luck with the Lexar 1000 time cards. I don't even know why, because that write speed is really low. But if you look at a calculator, 400 megabits a second ends up only being 50 megabytes a second. So this card should be able to handle it. It is UHS2, so it has the second row of pins, and maybe that's why. I'm not sure. But this card here can write 90 megabytes a second, which is only UHS1, and it can only go 19 seconds as well on here. So I don't really know what's going on, but I want to try this card first, because if I don't open this card, I can return it. Let me just do the math here. I'll tell you what I paid for this card. Okay, so the card was $450 times 13% tax. I paid $508.50 for that card. So if I don't have to, I don't want to open this card. I'm going to try this card. If it works, then we're good. If it doesn't work, then I wasted the money on this card, and I'm going to have to use this card. So let's get into the test. Okay, so the first card we're going to test shooting in Cinema 4K is the Lexar 1000 times card. It's a UHS2 card, 128 gigs. Now I want to test it in UHD 4K, just in case the other one was too high resolution. Next, we're going to try the SanDisk Extreme Pro UHS1 card at 64 gigs. Now we're going to test the Lexar 2000 times card. It's a UHS2 card. It's 32 gigabytes. Alright, so as you can tell, this card will work, but only if you're shooting for like 10 minutes. Some people I've read have been able to get the full 42 minutes out of their card. The first time I tried it, which was off camera, I actually was able to get 20 minutes, but then the second time I tried it, I only got 10 minutes. Then I tried it again and I only got 10 minutes. So I'm assuming that you'll definitely get 10 minutes out of this card, but you're not gonna get the full time. And maybe some people are lucky and they hit like the lottery and their card is a beast card, but mine isn't. That always seems to be the issue. I never end up winning the lottery. Anyway, this is good enough for me because I rarely ever do things in more than 10-minute takes anyway. And if I'm shooting 10-bit 422, 400 megabits a second, I'll probably be shooting some kind of a music video or something, and rarely songs go over 5 minutes. So I'm okay with that. It saves me a ton of money, and I'm gonna return the other card, even though I know the other card will probably make it to 45 minutes, 42 minutes, however many minutes you actually get out of a card. But for me, this card is literally 3 times less price than that other card. I wish I had it over here when I started the video, but I didn't. But I'm gonna return that card, and I'm gonna keep this card. And it's interesting because looking at this card, the SanDisk Extreme, so this is only a UHS-1 card, but it has sustained write speeds that are actually higher than this card. And you saw from the Blackmagic disc tests that this card was actually indeed faster at writing than this card. And one thing that's really blowing my mind is that this card, the Lexar 2000, that's rated at 300 megabytes a second read and around, it's supposed to be around 260 write, which you saw from the disc test, we only got around 186 megabytes a second, which is still well beyond this. More than double this. And it can't go for more than 19 seconds or 17 seconds. So it's really blowing my mind. Obviously this card has some fluctuations in it, or it's just the capacity. Maybe the camera needs 128 gigs, I don't know. But for some reason, this stupid card here will work. Again, not up to full 42 minutes. If you want to get this card, I'll link it in the description where to pick one up if you're okay with shooting up to 10 minutes at a time. But if you need to shoot for longer than that, then I guess I'm gonna have to recommend the more expensive card, the Extreme Pro. Returning that card. It's rated at up to 280, I think, megabytes per second. I can probably guarantee that it will give you those speeds. I feel like Lexar is kind of lying about their speeds, and that's probably why they went out of business. But there's still tons of these cards out there in the wild, and you can pick them up. That's all I got on this video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully it was enlightening. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down twice. I'll see you in the next one.